when you look back just a short while before those weekend mass killings happened, the FBI director, Christopher Wray, speaking to a congressional panel or a Senate panel, had warned about these lone attackers and that the FBI is very concerned about that phenomenon. And we're joined for a few minutes this morning by Dr. Alex Del Carmen, Associate Dean and Professor of School of Criminology, Criminal Justice, and Strategic Studies at Tarleton State University. Alex, good morning. Good to have you back. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So is this something, this phenomenon, I start from the premise that anybody would do this is beyond mentally ill to the point of insanity. That being said, are we going to be seeing more of this now, do you believe?
Unfortunately so. I think that this is going to get worse, and we're going to continue to see, these random attacks. And the FBI is really concerned not about the fact that they're taking place as much as, they can't prevent them. You're looking at a lone attacker, somebody that's actually planning the attacks months in advance, and that is pretty much under the radar screen before law enforcement. So that's really what concerns me and keeps me up at night.
What do you think is, if there is one or maybe two critical factors that contribute to this in the minds of these people?
Part of it is an ideology, right? So what we see typically in these cases is that the offender has some sort of a motive that goes beyond just a personal motive, right? So it seems to be an ideological reason as to why they want to do this. They want to advance some sort of a platform. And then in addition to that, we see this radicalization, right? This process by which they become more and more radicalized. And no one around them, you just play that clip a little earlier, no one around them actually knows what they're capable of doing, which is even more alarming.
What would you suggest to anyone, like we heard this young woman here, who has an acquaintance that says the kinds of things that this Dayton shooter said? What would you suggest that person should do?
Well, once you see those early signs and once you see a quote-unquote dark side of someone and you think that person is capable of hurting other people, I think you need to tell somebody about something, right? So given the fact that not everyone is in that state of mind, that not everyone is capable or is willing to hurt somebody else, I think it's absolutely our responsibility to be able to communicate that to others, right? So, but at the same time, we can't just play doctor and diagnose people at random and assume then that everyone that makes an inappropriate comment from time to time or a violent comment from time to time is simply going to go out there and kill others. So the line is very thin, and we just have to discern as to what we're going to do.
Right. But you make a good point earlier, Alex, and that is that in a free society, if somebody decides that they want to grab a gun and walk into a public place and start shooting, unless we're going to put up massive amounts of security around every public building, which we're not going to do, you can't stop it. So the key is, how do you see it coming?
Yeah, so I think part of it also is the fact that social media has played a huge role, in these attacks, right? So now you have the FBI that, ironically enough, last week was asking for more money to be able to expand their capability of monitoring social media. Then you've got the ongoing debate whether or not the CIA and the NSA should be involved in this process, which, in my view, they should not. And so you have the privacy aspect of it, and then on the other hand, you have, the public's demand to be safe, right? So at some point, we as a public have to decide, at what level do we want government to be quote unquote intrusive, and at what level do we want to be protected? And that's the $1 million question.
Right. I appreciate your time and input always, Alex. Thank you. Dr. Alex Del Carmen, criminologist here on KFAB's Morning News.